All right, straight to Limpopo we go. It's where we find my colleague, SABC news reporter Samkele Maseko. He's live for us at the Peter Mokaba Stadium, the old Peter Mokaba Stadium in Limpopo. Brother Maseko, thank you very much indeed for your time. Talk to us about the build-up to the January 8th statement, which the ANC president will be delivering. We expect it around 1 o'clock.
Yes, indeed. The ANC's January 8th statement is underway. The festivities have started. ANC leaders are trickling in. Their former leaders are already walking in to this old Peter Mokaba Stadium. But I'm going to bring in the former Treasurer General of the ANC, which is Mathews Phosa, the man who hails from Mpumalanga, a former Premier Mpumalanga, former provincial chair in Mpumalanga, was the ANC Treasurer General elected in the 2007 conference in Polokwane. You are back home in Polokwane where you were elected, Mr. Phosa. How would you characterize the ANC since that conference in 2007 in Polokwane, where you took over a healthy balance sheet from the late Baba Umendi Msimang to the deplorable state of the finances of the party? You were once in charge of the purse.
I enjoyed being the treasurer of the ANC. I paid every salary every month and increased every year 7% and paid every worker a bonus every year on their birthday. I left that proud record as a treasurer of the ANC. I don't know what happened since I left. I hear like you hear from newspapers.
When you look at the deplorable state of the finances of your party, you are in business, you are a lawyer, how do you then rescue the ANC from this current financial slum that it's in?
The ANC must reconnect with the people. And when I say the people, I mean the business community, civic organizations, the international friends which the ANC once had. But they, when I was treasurer, gave us more than 80% of our funding. And the ANC must avoid take funding from tenders, tenderpreneurs, and from SOEs, and from government. But that makes the ANC dirty. And we don't want a dirty ANC which says we are fighting corruption while it feeds on the breast of the taxpayer. We don't want that. The ANC must come out of that mold. It must raise funds with integrity and dignity. It must restore the faith of the people in itself. Fundraising is about the people supporting your values. It's about the people supporting your aspirations. If the people don't support your values and aspirations, they will not give you money. It's very simple. So the ANC must protect its good name all the time.
Mr. Phosa, you were part of the 7 opinion pieces the ANC solicited for the step-aside resolution. Would you think the party was correct in the manner that it implemented this step-aside resolution, and how should it implement it?
Well, I'm very proud to say that I was part of that team and that we drafted a very historically important document which is objective, non-factional and timeless. And it will be important that next conference must look at that document very carefully and say where we went wrong and where we went right and adopt it as far as I'm concerned. In terms of implementation, there must never be a factional implementation of that document, but it fights against factional disciplinary processes. There must be a balanced way of looking at the 3 categories: those facing allegations, those who are charged, and those who are convicted. The 3 categories must be dealt with evenly and fairly.
Are you available to be in the ANC top 6 come December?
No, I've not been approached to discuss such things. I'm here to celebrate the ANC's many, many years of life. I'm proud of our founding fathers of 2012 who gave us this important organization. But my worry is we must stop messing it up. We must fix this organization. It must go back to the squatter camp, back to the villages, back to the grassroots. And it must win people back to its ranks. And the ANC must not be corrupt. It must clean itself from within. But the ANC must unite itself and must unite the people. And it must govern effectively.
Thank you very much, former Treasurer General Mathews Phosa, a leader of the ANC who led this party. I am now going to move to Senzo Mkhunu, who is a leader of the African National Congress. You can see him there. I am moving to him. I am going to ambush him now as we speak to him. Papa Macingwane, we're live on the SABC. Just a word from yourself. Papa Macingwane, just the ANC, where it is today. The ANC, where it is today. How would you characterize this organization of Oliver Regional Tambo today?
Well, the ANC is an organization that is 110 years old. And it's in its life. It has gone through highs and lows. It has experienced moments of strength and moments of weaknesses. But what is important, which is the main feature even today, is that it has proven beyond doubt that whether it is the moment of low or moment of high, it will go through and emerge strongly. That is why it is the only organization politically that has grown to 110 years. And we are not necessarily at one of the moments of ultimate strength and high at the moment. We are going through quite a difficult period, but certainly one that we are confident we are getting out of, and to get to a high. And it's going to happen, but it's going to be very difficult because there's been quite a long period where we have been in the low, and those lows sort of entrench themselves as some quasi-character of the ANC at a low level. Now to get us, all of us, out of those kinds of behavior and conduct is going to take a little bit quite a while, but we're not going to panic. We just have to be resilient. The organization has to be resilient. It has to dig down from the bottom of its strength once more and rise up to the expected levels. And it is going there. And fortunately for the ANC, almost everybody outside, ordinary people and so on, who share support of the ANC, they want it to go up. They are saying, don't embarrass us. They are saying, please correct the wrongs that you have been going through all the time and be the organization that we want, that we have always known. That's where we're going.
In 2017, you were available as Secretary General. Do you still have the same ambition to go to Luthuli House as the SG?
Well, look, I don't want to discuss those matters because even then, it was branches of the ANC that had done the nomination. And that process has not even started. We are at a point where we want to rebuild the very same structures, the very organization on the ground, so that by the time we get to those processes, the organization is alive and dynamic.
If they nominate you, would you be available?
Well, that will be like saying, if you are sick, will you take tablets and so on? So I'm not there at all.
Thank you, Mr. Macingwane. That is Senzo Mkhunu, an NEC member, speaking on the issues relating to the governing party, going towards the issues of their 55th National Conference. Leaders of the ANC keep trickling in now, and we are still anticipating the arrival of, in fact, I'm just going to go and steal Mamtogo Didiza there, who is with one of his spokespeople. So I am stealing her now, the Minister of Land Affairs and Rural Development, who in 2007, Polokwane was contesting in the top 6, if my history serves me correctly. How's that moment for you to come back in an ANC event, as much as you're a deployee in this province? It's already today. You lost here in 2007. How does it feel to be here?
Well, actually, it's a very exciting moment that we are here physically to celebrate the 110 years of the ANC. As you know, that last year was the year of COVID, so we celebrated this event virtually, which was still important. But I think being here physically, it's a momentous occasion in my view. But also when you look at the number of stalwarts that come from this province, and also what continuously has been the performance of this province in supporting the ANC. It's one for me of the exciting moments. Being a deployee here, but also as a member of the NEC, in terms of what we want to do and commit ourselves as an organization in terms of our renewal processes, following the decisions we have taken in the National Congress in 2017.
When you look at the ANC in Limpopo, the factions that exist in this province, issues of VBS, issues of the divisions between the suspended TG, Treasurer Province, and the Provincial Secretary, and the Provincial Chair, Stan Mathabata, how would you characterize the health of the ANC in Limpopo?
Well, let me say that any organization will have challenges, and ANC is not immune to it. But also when there are diverse views, it doesn't necessarily mean that ideologically there's a difference within the organization or among comrades. There may be different views on looking at issues, which might seem to those who may not be part of the organization that there are, divisions. But also, you'd recall that as a movement, we have taken particular decision on how we want to deal with issues that bring the organization into disrepute. And as the NEC, we've actually implemented those decisions. The Integrity Committee had been set up. Its recommendation has been taken seriously. And our resolution in terms of how we address issues where comrades, as an individual or even as a collective, find themselves in a situation which brings the organization into disrepute, that they actually step aside while addressing those issues, particularly where people are charged in terms of our criminal justice, that as they sort those issues out, they need to take, a moment where they step aside so that in dealing with those issues, they do not actually cloud the image of the organization.
Thank you very much, Minister Didiza. Other colleagues are indeed waiting for you. We also see that the leader of the SACP, Blade Nzimande, has indeed arrived here, as my colleague Natasha Piri is in the stands, and she will be coming on now. Over to you, Natasha, as ANC members trickle in.
Thank you so much, Samgel. Indeed, not only ANC members or NEC members who started trickling in, but your usual ANC members. Of course, I must remind you what the ANC had said, that they will be strict in terms of COVID-19 protocols. If I'll just show you the stands, you can see each chair is actually marked where people should actually sit, and in between are empty chairs where people should not sit, and this is all in line with the COVID-19 protocols. I must remind you and our viewers at home that only 2,000 people are allowed inside the old Peter Mokaba Stadium. Just talking about Peter Mokaba, the ANC celebrated the life and times of this firebrand leader, a leader that they labeled as a militant leader. Yesterday we saw that many programs of the Deputy President, Mr. David Mabuza, yesterday, and ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa delivering, that memorial lecture there in Polokwane. And of course, a dominant topic that actually featured there was that the ANC Youth League needs to rebuild. It comes at a time where the ANC Youth League is actually disbanded. There's a now interim structure, the NYTT, which is the National Youth Task Team, which was tasked with taking the ANC Youth League to conference. And of course, we heard the convener yesterday, Ms. Nongela Mtauli, telling SABC News that a date has been set for the ANC Youth League conference from the 25th to the 28th of March. But let's just rope in some young leaders here within the province of Limpopo. Sir, you're a young person. Yesterday you were celebrating the life and times of Peter Mokaba. He would have turned 63 years old today. What lessons can you draw from his life and from his legacy, seeing that the ANC Youth League is in a dire state today?
First of all, I want to wish happy birthday to the ANC, our organization since 1912. I'm very happy because of the ANC for choosing Peter Mokaba, since he played a pivotal role in the ANC Youth League. Many leaders now we are celebrating today have come up from his hands. So I'm very, very, very pleased about choosing this stadium for this event.
As a young person, are you happy with the state of the ANC Youth League? more especially because you're going to conference now in March, just 2 months away?
I can't say much about what happened past, but for now, since we are members of the ANC Youth League and we are educated, so we are going to conference at March. So we are looking to bring new changes. So we are. I can tell you now, we are expecting a lot from us this time because we have seen that at the previous conferences we didn't succeed.
Do you think that the ANC has championed the struggle of young people?
Not really, but I'm happy because a lot of members now in the parliament are youth like me and they're educated. So it means they're taking youth seriously this time.
Yeah, thank you so much. Let me just bring in and rope in your fellow colleague there. Sir, we'll just be talking about, the state of the ANC Youth League. This is a very important year for the ANC Youth League as you guys are preparing to go to conference. I mean, do you think that this time around the ANC Youth League will have a conference? You were supposed to have one in 2018 that did not happen. We then saw the disbandment of the ANC Youth League and now the NYTT is in place. Do you think that the NYTT will actually deliver that conference?
Yes, the NYTT will deliver our conference and we'll be happy in that when NYTT deliver a conference because it's too long. Most of the youth in the ANC are not be taken serious. So we want our youth league back and we'll be very happy when the NYTT deliver to our national conference this year.
There's been a vacancy of, leadership, especially when it comes to ANC Youth League, Do you agree with the sentiments that were echoed yesterday by the Deputy President and by ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa, telling the young people, giving them marching orders to rebuild the ANC, to rebuild the structures of the ANC?
Yes, we'll build the structure, but we want our legitimate structure that we're going to deal with that particular. We can hear Comrade David speaking about what, but we want our legitimate structure, which is the youth league, to be the champion the interest of the youth, because we're not being taken serious in the youth league. When we try to speak, they say, "Hey boy, our fetish." So.
Okay, so let me just move to my final guest here, representative of the LGBTQI community. And of course, they've been raising their grievances, saying that government is not taking the LGBTQI plus community seriously. And, let's just hear what they have to say. So you are here today. I know you've been lamenting the fact that government does not take the LGBTQI, seriously. I mean, what are your sentiments around this?
First and foremost, I think it's important that the LGBTQ find expression within this space. 110 years later, it's important that we reflect, and that's why we are here. But over and above that, it's the fact that we acknowledge the ANC-led NEC has listened to us over the past few months. You would know that for the past 2 years, about 20 cases of LGBTQ have been reported. And what we wanted the president to do was to have a stand voice and call out these brutal killings. So it's important that we are here to reflect and to say we appreciate the work that the ANC is doing up to so far regarding the LGBTQ protection.
What are you expecting to hear from ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa, especially in regards to what you've raised right now?
More than anything, I think 110 years later, we shouldn't be discussing issues of whether it's okay to protect the human rights of the LGBTQ. It should be part and parcel of what the ANC is doing. But over and above that, we are saying, post this 110 celebration, it's important that government emphasizes and stresses the issue that we mainstream issues of LGBTQ within government. That's our main cry. We are saying it's important that the LGBTQ as a subject, as an agenda, it's led by government. So moving forward from this space, it's important that we have a department that deals specifically with issues of LGBTQ. For us, that's one way to deal and address issues of LGBTQ hate crimes.
Thank you so much, and thanks for your time. Of course, varying views there that you see from various guests here, not only the ANC Youth League members, but of course the LGBTQI community as well. I know my colleague Pimani is outside. Pimani, is scorching hot here in Polokwane. I mean, what's happening on your side?
Thank you so much, Natasha. Yes, we are indeed outside the Peter Mokaba Stadium. As you can see behind me, there is a lot of people who are gathered here outside the stadium. Natasha, earlier in the week, you spoke to the ANC in the province. That was very clear in saying that there will be strict adherence to COVID-19 regulations, that only 2,000 party members will be allowed into the stadium to be part of these festivities. They even stated that everybody who would be in that stadium would be accredited from the point that they leave their home and get into a bus, Natasha. And when you go to the stadium, there was a lot of, security points that ensured that everybody who passes through into the stadium is cleared before they even enter the stadium. But Natasha, as you can see behind me, there's a lot of people. Most of these people use their own transportations from various provinces in the country to come and be part of these festivities. I'm going to bring in some of them so that they explain to us the significance. Dade Khadebe, you're explaining to me you're from Gauteng, and that you knew as you left home that you would not be able to enter the stadium. Why did you feel it was significant for you to be part of this?
Thank you very much, Sisi, and the viewers at home. My name is Opa Hadebe. I'm a deputy chairperson of Sanko in Gauteng and a member of Ward 4 Palestine Jongumuzi branch in Orange Farm. This is a very important day in the country. In the history of the ANC, January the 8th statement marks the map and the way forward to say this is what the country is getting to. I think that's very important to us. We respect the issue of COVID-19. That's why we are outside where there is observing social distance. But being around this vicinity and being around here is very important to us as members of the ANC and Alliance, so that whenever anything is said or the decisions that are going to be tabled today, we need to look into them, because as Alliance and the ANC members, this ANC is our ANC. We are part of the ANC, and we need the message to go through.
Thank you so much, Baba Khadebe. We are joined by another member who is dancing to the festivities. Mr. Nyamate, you also traveled very far and you are representing your branch back home in Gauteng. What are you expecting to hear from the president, the president of your party?
We are here to celebrate the 110th anniversary of the organization, the movement ANC. What I'm expecting to hear the president is that we want the unity of the movement. We also want to renew the organization ANC. So that is the main message that I'm looking forward to hear, to say that the ANC must always and have always been the leader of the society. So we must affirm that particular position and renew the movement. But today we are here to celebrate.
Thank you so much, sir. We are joined by another party member from Ekurhuleni. Sir, Mr. Nkonsa, you traveled all the way from Gauteng. You are here. You've been here since morning. When did you get here? How is it going thus far?
We got here yesterday and we were here in the stadium around 7. So far, so good. We are about to enter the stadium. We're just going to be celebrating this glorious movement, the ANC, the oldest political party movement, not only in the country, in Africa as a whole. But my main point or my main wish here is to hear the president speaking on unemployment, poverty and service delivery, because that's what the people need, nothing else. Service delivery, and then close the gap in terms of inequality. That's all what people want. And in the current state that we're in, only the ANC can provide this.
Thank you so much, sir. There you have it there, Blaine, outside the Peter Mokaba Stadium. It is a hive of activities. You've seen us earlier speaking to some veterans from a disbanded region in Gauteng who are also saying they want to access this. We will be monitoring the four corners of this stadium, Blaine, and bringing you more reports as the day progresses.
That indeed you will. Pimani Baloy, Natasha Piri, as well as Samkele Maseko, thank you. We will be checking in with you in a short while. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, analysis